Hello everyone, welcome to another video for SimonsStamp.com. My name is Christina Werner and I'm going to be walking you through two fun cards using the November 2023 card kit of the month. I'm going to be using the Cozy Autumn Hugs stamp set. Lots of really fun building opportunities there. And then I've also got this stencil set. This is the Autumn Frame stencil set. I'm going to be using 6 different colors of the original inks from SSS Stamp. We've got Sunshine, Burnt Orange, Green Leaf, Dark Chocolate, Orange Peel, and Khaki. Really great fall colors. I'm starting out with some craft cardstock. This is actually Environmental Desert Storm cardstock from Nina. And I've got the 2 stencils from the stencil set. I'm going to start with layer 1, which is the very open leaf-shaped stencil. There are guides on the stencil to line it up on an A2 card, so I'm very carefully lining that up. And I'm also using the stencil mat, or that kind of like a sticky mat from Simon and Burtis Monroe, and that helps hold down my cardstock and the stencils while I'm doing all of my blending. So I'm using all of those inks that I mentioned before, and I'm isolating each little image and adding some color. Moving around quite quickly. I'm just using a little bit of Post-it tape to mask off those areas so that I don't have to worry about accidentally blending into any kind of adjacent shape. After I had all of the basic shapes colored in, I then removed the stencil. Oh, it's like Christmas morning. I love that. And then I put the layer 2 stencil right on top. It lines up right over each one of those images, and as well as adds the top to those acorns. And then I use the dark chocolate ink to go over all of this entire area. That just fills in the details on the leaves and also adds the top to those acorns. And then as I peel it up, you see how beautiful that finishes off the entire frame. Now this card is almost done. It's so easy using that frame stencil set, but I'm going to use some greetings from the stamp set. And because the greetings are split into 2 different stamps, I'm going to use 2 different colors. I'm using burnt orange for the bottom part of my sentiment, and I did stamp this twice so that I could get a really good impression of that color. And then for the greeting on top, I'm going to use the dark chocolate ink just because I felt like the font was really bold and it would look really nice with that orange. So I'm going to ink up that stamp, and I believe I also stamped this one a couple of times just to make sure I got that really solidly. I then grabbed that same dark chocolate ink and a large blending brush, and I just brought in a little bit of color on the edges. You could leave it the way it was. I think it looks really pretty, just nice and clean, but I wanted to add a little bit of drama on those edges. So there is my very first card all finished. I'm going to move on to the second card, and I'm going to start by blending onto some white cardstock. This is 5x7 cardstock, and I'm bringing in the color Duckling. So it's a little bit of a lighter yellow than Sunshine. Just wanted it to be a little more subtle. And then I'm stamping my greetings first because I want to have the leaves from the stamp set kind of nestled around the greeting. So I needed to stamp the greeting first. So I used dark chocolate and then Sunshine just to have it say, "Hello, friend." And when I go to start stamping all of the leaves, I'm going to do it in a very specific way. I'm starting with the detail stem area first because that's going to give me kind of like the full kind of surface area of where that leaf will be. And I also wanted the bottom of each stem to sort of nestle into whatever leaf was already there. So I decided to stamp the dark stem detail stamp images first and then come back in with the different colors. That also works really well for this berry image because you don't really know where the stems are at all until you've stamped them, and then you've got the berries to add on. Adding a little bit of that green, and then for this last one, I'm actually going to stamp both of those leaves at the same time, but in different colors, since they're very far apart. All right, to finish off this little area off to the right, I stamped a few of the little dots from the stamp set. Then I grabbed a brown marker. This is just a Tombow dual end marker with a ruler and added a thin frame. I then adhered my stamped panel to the front of a 5x7 note card, already prepared and ready to go. And that's going to finish up this card as well. So both of these cards were very simple and easy to put together. I used pretty much the same ink colors on both, with the addition of that lighter yellow on the larger card. The stamp set and the stencil are available in the card kit. You can order all together, or you can order them separately over at simonstamp.com. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll catch you in another video very soon.